Chairman of the African Union and President of the Senegal, President Macky Sall, Your Excellency, the President of Teodoro Obiang, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by thanking the government and people of Equatorial Guinea for hosting this very important summit to address the humanitarian crisis in Africa. You will agree that this conference could not have come at a better time, considering the challenges posed by the increasing rate of internally displaced persons, refugees, and returnees migrants to our various countries and the continent at large. As you are aware, Mr. Chairperson, the world is confronted by emerging threats such as climate change, resulting in global warming, rising levels of waters, in some climes shrinking rivers like the Lake Chad. All these lead to distortions in our aquatic and consequently ecological systems. Conflicts, violent extremism, and terrorist attacks, including herdsmen and farmers' clashes, and banditry led to the displacement of whole communities, thus rendering thousands of people homeless. In the northeast of Nigeria alone, millions of people have been displaced as a result of the climate change, which caused the shrinking of Lake Chad and subsequent loss of means of livelihood. In addition, the violent onslaught by Boko Haram, insurgents on the people of the region, has led to humanitarian crisis in that region of our country. Mr. Chairman, of the over 5 million internally displaced persons in the Lake Chad region alone, about 70% are estimated to be from Nigeria. And so, we cannot deny the fact that we have a very dangerous humanitarian crisis in our hands. This development calls for a collective and coordinated response from all of us. As a government, our immediate response was creation of a Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management, and Social Development in order to develop a national response strategy on the humanitarian crisis confronting us. This is in line with the Kampala Convention for the Protection and Assistance of Internally Displaced Persons. I am glad to inform Your Excellencies that the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs of Nigeria has continued to live up to its mandate in responding quickly to all situations of displaced persons and disaster management. As part of efforts to ensure sustainable food and nutrition health, the Ministry carries out a compulsory school feeding program in all primary schools across the country. This is to ensure that every child gets at least one balanced and nutritious meal daily. Through the Ministry, government established internally displaced persons camps in every part of the country for refugees, returnee migrants, and displaced persons, where food, shelter, clothing, and medical care and other livelihood support are provided for all displaced persons. We also have introduced a conditional cash transfer scheme, whereby a monthly cash transfer is made to the very poor and vulnerable in our society. Nigeria strongly believes in a continental response to the humanitarian crisis confronting the continent, and so we are totally committed to the establishment of an African humanitarian agency as proposed by the heads of state and government in Addis Ababa in January 2016. The rationale for the establishment of this agency is to forge a common African position on humanitarian effectiveness and to create and appropriate continental architecture to effectively respond and coordinate humanitarian crises on the continent. Your Excellencies, as we meet today in this historic city of Malabo to actualize our dreams to establish the African Humanitarian Agency, I congratulate you all for rising to the occasion. I also want to thank the technical committee that has worked so hard to produce the statutes of the African Humanitarian Agency. Nigeria will continue to support the agency, and so we pledge the sum of $3 million United States in support of agency. Thank you for your attention.